So I wanted to do a quick Venmo demonstration. I think some of you have asked how you could use the app. So you can see my, actually, I don't know if you could see my phone, but there's a search function. And when you select it, there's a scan code function, which is why I put the code on the screen, so that when you do scan it, all you have to do is put your camera up to the code. It will, if you're not friends with us already, bring up the Rotary Club of Arcata Sunrise option, and you can pay $5, which I'll do right now. And that'll enter you in for this week's raffle prize, which is a $25 gift certificate from Vanessa there at the Griffin. I really like the idea of looking to support our local members who are small business owners, and so she'll definitely get $25 or more, depending on how many entries we get here for the raffle. And if nobody wins the blue ball, then that gets compounded into the following week with the next week's prize, and that pot can also grow and be also a donation to our contribution to our local small business owner. So that's the strategy behind this new change on the raffle. And please go ahead and enter in, so we can not only have some fun, but support our fellow members here. Any questions out there? Nope. So Thomas, let me give you an opportunity here, if you're out there, to give us a little update. Let's see here.
We're gonna have to go get him out of bed, I think.
Oh, okay. So next week, we'll get you next week, Thomas.
He might come down before the meeting's over. Who knows? Okay.
Sounds good. So we'll go through some recognitions here. I threw out an email to ask for some coworkers, and so this is my coworker. He's a 14-year-old lab cross, Zeke, and he sits by me sometimes when we're doing the meeting. So I'd love to see photos of your fellow coworkers. So send in those photos, send them directly to me. That'd be awesome, and we'll have some fun here. And of course, there's Amy. And then I did get a photo. Oh no, I did want to recognize Scott for winning Rotary last week. That was an amazing background. Hard to beat there. So I think I am trying to dream up something behind me to match that, but we'll see. I'm sure that took quite some time and quite a lot of work. Ed did. Oh, go ahead.
I can loan it to you anytime you want it. Just bring a truck.
That would be fun. Yes. I wrote. It looks quite large. I don't know if it would fit back here, but we'll give it a try. Ed did send me his work environment, and that's quite a few screens. So thank you, Ed. That's a little nuts out there. I'm sure there's a use for all of those things. I don't know if you care to share. 2 keyboards even.
Well, there's 2 computers, so they need 2 keyboards.
Amy and I are sharing this workspace, so I actually do have 2 keyboards myself and 2 mice. But so send in those photos. This is a lot of fun. We're going around town, and this is how we're gonna see each other wearing masks. So I thought we'd play a little game with the chat feature to see if you wanted to guess who is behind the mask. And if I see the answer in the chat screen, yeah, I'll go to the next one. So thanks, Lori. That was a reveal. And how about this one? Here we go. That is Miss Amy. Who's got this one? Yeah.
Charlie.
Lori's got getting them all, or first to answer at least. Got another
Background giving
Charlie.
us away.
Yeah, Tammy. Look at those blues. There we go. A couple more. Haha. We got a double one here. You got to get both. Yeah. Sweet. Thanks for playing. Send in those photos as well. I had to mine Facebook for some of those, but that is how we're going to try to recognize each other as we go around town. So along that vein, Susan Diehl-McCarthy is going to make some masks with our RCAS logo on them. And she is looking for some virtual volunteers to help her make these masks. So either in the chat or if you want to send Susan a message, she would definitely could use some help. Susan, if you want to say anything. You have to hold the space bar down. I muted everybody. Like, there we go.
I got it. My space bar wasn't working for some reason. Anyway, so yes, I should have the material next week. I just ordered it Monday, I think. And anybody who wants to help make masks, I've got a great pattern, unless you've got your own. And I can send it to you, or we can just collaborate online. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. So I found, I sent out this email on Wednesday, and there might have been some confusion, so I just thought I'd run through it. So since we're not using Plaza Grill for the remaining of the year, there are some leftover meeting fee costs. We collect this $90 of it when dues are paid, and because it's not going towards the space, let's see here, let me do some muting. Since it's not going towards the space, we can either have it carry over to next year, or I'm asking to see if you'd be willing to donate it to the club. What we'd like to do with the funds is to perhaps support our local small business owners as well as club members, and see if we can't maybe purchase some of their services or products for either use now or later, for a fundraiser perhaps down the road, but as a way to support them through this difficult time since everybody is in shelter in place and shut down. So I did send out a Google form. I believe I fixed it so you could use any email address. So I just want to know how you feel about that, and if you could please respond. That'll help us in a couple weeks. We'll have a board meeting and talk about how we can leverage these funds. So any thoughts or questions out there? No. Okay, feel free to email me if you have any questions. I thought this would be fun too. We have this, there's a bingo game. I can email this to you all, but fun things to do to also support all local businesses. So write Google reviews, or check in or connect with someone, donate some food, simple thank you, all great things that we can do. So I don't know if we want to play a game and offer a prize to the person who can fill out this bingo card sooner than later. I think that would be fun recognition for next week. So I will, at the end of this meeting, get this out so you can have some fun out there in the community, and let me know how things go. Ray, did you make it this week? Are you out there? Let me check the photos really quick here. Not seeing them. No. Okay. Well, I did want to recognize Siva. Looks like she made a donation to Miranda's Rescue, which was very thoughtful and amazing. I mean, she's always doing some great things out there at Hensel's. So I just want to throw some recognition out there to her. I'm not sure if she made it here this morning, but small business doing some great things out there. And if you do have other recognitions, please send them in, either to myself or the arcs.recognitions@gmail. So Andreas, I don't know if you want to rehash the stimulus check challenge. I did want to narrow down that. So last week I shared that our foundation has fallen short just because we're not having the spring fundraiser, and I want to narrow down if you were able to donate your stimulus check to the club, it would go to mainly support backpacks for kids, because that is a food need in our community, and then the rest, depending on how much comes through, could be a donation to, again, addressing a food need through Food for People. Andreas, I don't know if you have more you'd want to share.
No, that's pretty much the challenge. It's whatever you can spare with your stimulus check whenever you get it. Trying to make up the lost revenue from the spring fundraiser so that we can be sure to maintain backpacks for kids through next year. And then anything above that goes to local food banks for immediate pandemic needs.
Yes. So thank you in advance if you do consider that. Yeah, so backpacks for kids. So in the event we have some guests who don't know what that is, we previously created bags that are food bags for kids to take home. So they have some food for over the weekend. And so that practice is still continuing just with even though school's out. That way they can continue to have sustenance through the weekend. Some upcoming events. So on that same note, this is now today, because I looked this up yesterday, from 2 to 4, they don't need volunteers, but they are hosting a drive up food donation drive or distribution, sorry. And so if you know anybody who could use this food, you can send them to the address down at the bottom of Bayshore Way, and they can drive through and pick up a bag of food. So just wanted to put it out there that if you know anybody who's in this space, that there's a place for them to go drive up, because to make it easy to avoid, to encourage distancing, to avoid contact, that there's a distribution today from 2 to 4. And then I was going to highlight the 2 events. So Howl for Humboldt County Healthcare Workers, 8 p.m. It's cool to see the Facebook posts. I think there's some neighborhoods that are pretty eager to participate. We did it one night and feel like we were the only ones out there howling at the moon. Anybody having some fun out there with this?
Yeah, I've been howling over at Tom's house, or outside his house, and but last night I stayed home, and there's lots of howlies in my neighborhood now, so that's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun to hear.
We started howling on Jacob Creek Road, and now we have the whole neighborhood howling at 8 p.m. every day.
That's awesome.
We started doing it on Graham Road, and then finally we can hear everybody over on Howard Street on the so it resonates the whole valley.
It's awesome.
Nice.
Thank you guys for sharing. Janice shared with me the Feed the ER program that started to help our healthcare workers who are working long hours and having a hard time getting out. So there's a Venmo set up for them as well. If you want to support getting them access to a quick meal in between shifts or while they're out there putting their lives at risk, an option for you there. There's a Facebook page that you can join and kind of see what they're doing to support our local healthcare workers as well.
Hey, Hefe, can I jump in on that one?
Sure.
My daughter's working with that group, and they are also going to a lot of the local restaurants. Like they talked to Bill Chino and Tomo's, and those they're buying the meals and then taking them, so they're supporting the restaurants as well. And so they've got restaurants, but they're short is some donation. So if anybody wants to put any money towards that, but they're trying to do it twofold, supporting the restaurants as well as the healthcare workers.
Nice. Thanks, Tom. And I saw this, Bob, I don't know if you'd like to elaborate on this Curbside Community Care Day. Looks like Shady Lady's involved.
All right, yeah, it was off and now it's back on again. So tomorrow from noon to 2, it's a little curbside thing. We put together a little craft project for kids kind of prior to Easter. So evidently the Easter Bunny is going to show up for this event. Drive by, everything will be nice and clean, and just a little quick pickup to give kids something different to do at home.
Do you have a mask for the Easter Bunny?
There's more than a mask.
Thanks, Bob.
You bet. Thank you.
And Maggie, do you want to talk about the virtual firesides for next week?
Yeah, so thanks for reminding me. I was so busy working on that survey that I forgot I was working on this. Next week, no, it's the week after next. Well, it doesn't matter now. I don't know when they're going to happen, but I had originally scheduled firesides for the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, and and Julie and Scott and Lisa and Chris were going to host these at their homes, and we're obviously not doing that. So I will probably set up Zoom meetings on those 3 evenings that people can sign up and pick which one they want to attend. And we'll just basically have a little chat about what's going on, what we're looking for next year, getting your ideas. It's a little unusual, what we're dealing with, obviously, not a little, it's a lot unusual. So this will be the first time for everything. But in preparation for that, I'm going to be sending out a survey probably over this weekend to ask you to respond to that. So I have some data, I have some information from you in advance. So when you see that come to you, please it takes about, I think, maybe 5 minutes to fill it out. So please do that and send it back, and then I'll have that information for us all to look at during the fireside if people want to see it. So, and I think I will still do these in the evening unless people want to do them in the morning. Normally they're after work, but yeah, I think a lot of us are still working, I think. So I think I'll probably still do them around 6 o'clock. So any questions about that?
So I guess I'll throw out the last Friday of the month is the 24th, which is why I thought that would be a final Friday. So we will have a meeting next week. Ignore this thing at the top of the screen. And but we won't have a meeting the week of the fireside. So that'll be the 24th. And our final Friday for April will fall on May 1st. So I'll send out some reminders here shortly. But sorry for the confusion there.
AJ, you want to give another little explanation of firesides for anyone who's not familiar?
Sure. Each incoming president gets a chance to sit down with smaller groups of the club, and it's an opportunity for you to talk about some of the things that are important to you when being part of a Rotary Club. And there's some traditions and some things that we do on a regular basis that help us raise money and help support the community. And it's an opportunity for you to share your ideas in how we can either enhance those functions or bring some new ideas so we can do more with what we have available to us. And then I'm imagining there's going to be a new component going into this next year considering our kind of new situation, but it is an opportunity to share your thoughts and then hear more from your other club members about the different things that are happening with the club. So I know Maggie's got a direction, and she would just definitely appreciate your feedback in going into her next year. So get your bid paddles ready. I guess I'll make this change as well. That'll be the 1st of May for Final Friday. And we'll have our first live virtual auction. So we'll have some fun there.